So I think it's become very clear that one of the rules in particular is causing me troubles, and that is the hero trading rule, where heroes aren't allowed to move after they have traded with each other. And the reason it's been causing me trouble... Huh. um, okay. I don't know what to do about that. I'm playing on expert. So the AI is able to find artifacts with very little knowledge. With very few of the obelisks found, but that seems like too few even for... Well, the Titan's Cuirass wouldn't be... The Titan's Cuirass wouldn't be an artifact. How did... Okay, I'm going to have to hopefully avoid spoilers here. But just watch and see them grab the artifact. Yeah, all these lands look very similar, don't they? Thankfully, there's no context for any of this, so it's not actually giving away too much of the map. Okay, so it's that hero that is winning the game. So let's see how that's occurring. They have an army I could beat in a fight. But all they need to do is fight a couple of ghost dragons in order to win the game? On a map this size? That seems odd. So there's this green two-way monolith that they're using to get there. And they start underground. Right, okay, so to get to the green two-way monolith, you need to get to the brown two-way monolith. To get to the brown two-way monolith, you need to get to the violet. To get to the violet, you simply need to walk there. Which suggests to me that brown isn't meant to be able to actually win the game, and that the map is broken. So now we get to look at because yeah, they can just walk straight to the end, basically. They could have done it like 3 weeks ago because there's not much of a defense there. But how do they even know that's how you win? Maybe they didn't know that's how you win and they just attacked it for no reason. How do you even get down here in the first place? You have to boat along the river Styx in a long epic journey, and then you're... Yeah, look at all this stuff you're supposed to do. There's a whole world here. Yeah, I think the game's broken. Okay, so a new aspect. What I was going to say, I'll just finish that thought, was that heroes... it's hard to remember which hero has traded. So my thought for that, to solve that solution, is that whenever heroes trade, so for example, let's say these two trade. Let's say these two trade. Then what we will do is, okay, so they've traded units, and then when heroes trade, both have to camp. And then you're only allowed to uncamp if you have all your movement points. And Sierra does not have all her movement points, and Perseus can't, so he's not allowed to uncamp. And units that have camped are not allowed to move. And I think that's a much easier way to remember it, without actually... Because I said I want to play through the whole mission before I get rid of my... before I change my stats Sorry, I want to go through the whole mission before I change the rules, because sometimes in the moment it's hard to trust yourself. And you might just change the rules to advantage you or to balance something you thought was unfair in your favor even, but turned out to actually be pretty fair. You just got lucky or whatever the case may be. But this is a rule that it doesn't actually change how I was playing except to make it easier to keep track of. And I guess it prevents me from using sleep-wake in a more normal sense, but since I have less heroes, I don't think that'll be too much of a problem. And also, the heroes I would be sleeping, I wouldn't be moving unless I had full movement anyways. Almost always, if not always. So I think that works quite well. But now we get to, I guess I'll keep recording. Gonna have to do a bit more editing. We dive into trying to fix this. So I might put a timestamp up for people that want to avoid spoilers. I'm going to avoid spoilers for myself because I don't want to, know this whole map. So I'm not going to be looking around much. I'm just going to be looking at what the stats are, like if Brown is supposed to be able to win or if that's an error in the game, and then I will either kill Brown somehow. I can think of a few ways to do it, but none of them that are clean, or I will edit their hero to have no units, which would be a shame because it looks like they're meant to be the final boss. But I could just cripple their hero, basically. So yeah, let's start digging through game files and see what we can figure out. So first thing I want to do, I think, is I'm actually going to look at... because we're playing Horn of the Abyss, and it could be Horn of the Abyss that broke it, or it could have been updating the game halfway through which broke it. So what I'm going to do to get a baseline first is I'm going to look at... And here we are. But first thing I'm going to do is I want to look at the... So this is called Myth and Legend. I will look at the non-Horn of the Abyss version of this map and see if that can reveal anything about what's going on here. So... because there might have been an error somewhere along the lines. 2012. That's strange. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Home 3 but lazy and look up Myth and Legend. This map is not included in the complete version of the game. You have to download the original map from here. Ah, which is now a broken link apparently. Now, Maps for Heroes, I assume, still has it. Myth and Legend Pro. The Titans have been balanced to be made much stronger so Tan doesn't kill them after 3 months. Additionally, Tan has been buffed to make the map more challenging, and there's now several new treasures and other surprises found around the map. Lastly, Dimension Door and Town Portal are unobtainable in the Mage Guilds. And teal in their map, at least, is apparently the easiest. Wow, what an annoying website. Okay, so I did a bit of reading, and the reason I had to add this to the game at some point in the distant past that I don't remember doing is apparently because, well, there's a theory anyways that 3DO removed it from the complete edition because it was so broken, because they couldn't balance it properly. Which is strange, because I'm pretty sure I could balance it in a couple seconds if I just went over to Special Victory Conditions and said they don't apply to computers. There, I just balanced the game. So I don't know why they couldn't do that. Now, obviously, the Titan's Cuirass is a slight problem because if Tan goes over here and kills the monster, then suddenly you have yourself a bit of an issue. If Tan goes over there and kills the dragons before you're ready, then you have a bit of an issue because they will now have the Titan's Cuirass, which will mean you have to hunt down their hero and kill them for it, but that's still very doable. I think, so I would actually... Yeah, I would probably remove that so that the AI can't just grab the Titan's Cuirass. And then I would probably do something like I've gotten so used to the Horn of the Abyss map builder. It's so much better than this now. I'd do something like I'd grab a... Quest cards can only be placed on Armageddon's Blade or Shadow of Death maps. Oh, so this was like early. Okay. Yeah, so they just... Oh, and the quantity of creatures over here is random. So this time around, it was just really low. And they give you the Titan's Curse. And they didn't think to make it like 40 or something and just make it a high number. So they just chose to make it random. After making this entire map, they didn't put the care into the win condition. This is a different kind of game design than I intended to be talking about, but it's strange that they must have, every time they play tested it, and it's a big map, so they probably only play tested it once or twice, which is the problem with making something so large. They probably got lucky with the quantities and just not having Tan go through. And then when they were making the complete edition, they're like, oh wait, this thing's horribly broken. People have complained about it, but we don't have the time to fix it. So, because we forget why it's broken, because you might not remember why it's broken, and then you just go through it. But yeah, so we'll leave that aside for now. We won't save those changes, and then I go. And why can't you? Oh, you can change the map version. Okay, so make it a Shadow of Death map. Now, you could play it as a challenge map, I guess. Now, this isn't the most elegant solution because it's meant to be a race for the Curious, but well, there's other ways I could do this, I think. We'll have it like that for the moment, but then I'm going to go. So one way you could do it is you could put a border gate, like here, right? And then you could plonk it down. So these are custom, but they're just random. There's a few things in this map that seem like they didn't quite finish some of the stages of polish. That doesn't work. I guess that's the only one that works. Okay, so you put like a black gate key there, and then hopefully there won't be another black gate key on the map. Yeah. That's a really long error message for a pretty obvious error. But then we can just stick a gate somewhere around here. What's this say? Is this an event which does nothing? I wonder if I got like a corrupted version of the map, or if there's a very good reason they... It's funny because a lot of people say this is the best map, but then you look at the... this event doesn't do anything. It's just a ghost event. Okay, so it can go. And we can just do that. How's that look? Just do one of these. And then that is very accessible. And save. Well, first let's validate and make sure that it works. No problems. And then save as, I suppose. And then, yeah, that actually, while I'm here, just before I go, yeah, okay, they didn't do anything with the prison. So they just said it gives Tyrus. But they could have done, like, he was the leader of Locrian continent during the Trojan War. Say, okay, so he's a leader. Ajax was described as stocky, powerfully built, swarthy, a pleasant person, and brave. Right, so you do something like that. So powerfully built, he could have, like, item of... actually, did he have any magic items that he's famous for? He was very fast, apparently. He contended with Odysseus and Antilochus for a foot race, and he was only by Athena tripping him did he lose. What I could do, actually, is go to Heroes and activate Roland, but with Tyrus's face. We say they are famous for their leadership and their diplomacy and their speed, and then they were supposed to be fairly tough and fairly defensive and fairly like, swarthy and strong. Since they were famous for their infantry fighting, I guess they can have just like a unit of, I don't know, 10 swordsmen with them? Could be 10 in each group even. That'd be 70 swordsmen, which would be huge. Well, I don't like balancing what should be versus the gameplay balance. If he's famous for having 70 swordsmen, then he's famous for having 70 swordsmen, and I should give that to him. But then I should also make his prison harder to get those 70 swordsmen. So that's the way around I like to balance these sort of things. But because he's not actually famous for having 70 swordsmen, I just thought it'd be fitting because he was known to fight with his men. Then 10 will do. 10 will be fine. Now, he was also brave, which I could give him the Pendant of Courage or something. Or the Badge of Courage would be a bit more appropriate. The Pendant of Courage is one of the best items in the game, in my opinion. If you have like diplomacy as a skill. for what he did in the war. Yeah. Yeah, so what people have been saying about this map is it seems like it was incomplete because there's not all people even have events, it sounds like. So if we go and, because we've been getting a ton of events, right? But it sounds like we got all the events. But so when we were in Elysium, there was that huge amount of events there. Yeah, it looks like there's a lot of events all around the map. But they just didn't finish it on that little island there. And they didn't really balance. One suggestion I saw for a guy was that he just got rid of the victory condition of getting the Titan's Cuirass, which actually I think it doesn't fit the story of it being a contest between the gods, first one to get the Titan's Cuirass. But on the other hand, it does make a bit more sense. So I think I'll steal that guy's idea, actually. I'll credit them. 1 second. What was their name? So the person's name was Monolith94. I still think I'm going to keep this gate here because because otherwise Tan's just going to get it every time. And you might as well just give Tan the Titan's Cuirass. But this is meant to be the underworld, which is exciting. And meant to be the finale of the game, really, too, you can see. So it's a shame they didn't just spend a tiny amount of time. Like, I'm sure that I haven't fixed it properly entirely here, but that's like 5 minutes, a couple tweaks, and it's way better, right? Or it's playable, let's say. And now another thing you could do is just play with the thing in mind that Tan is going to get that very quickly, so you have to rush through a map. But it doesn't feel like a map that you're meant to rush through. It feels like one you're supposed to explore and kind of have fun and poke around in. That seems kind of like the wrong way to go about it. Okay, so here's the Horn of the Abyss map editor, which, as you can tell, looks much nicer. And they did such a good job that it looks like it was meant to be like this the whole time. It's really well put together. It looks close enough to what it was that you'd never guess that this wasn't how it was meant to be from the start. And when you go back to the actual one, you're like, wait a minute, that isn't right. Because this one feels so right. And this was actually just updated as well in the latest 1.7 update. So the next thing to do then is to fix my save file. I'll have to give me a moment to figure out how I want to do that. Okay, so I think it doesn't seem like I have many options available to me, unfortunately. I've decided to go with using Heroes of Might and Magic 3 save game editor. Which allows you to edit only the heroes in the game, sadly. And yeah, I guess I shouldn't look too much to be spoiled, but basically I think what I'm going to have to do here is reduce her army to one which can't win the fight. And then give those points to someone... give this army to someone else. The problem with that is there's no reason for her to not immediately send another hero back up there, which is kind of annoying. And unfortunately, I think the solution to that might be to not give them their units back until we reach the underworld. Because otherwise I'm going to have to do it every week or something, every time they walk over there. Let's try it out this way. The other option, of course, is restarting or starting on a new map. I could play as a different hero altogether instead of Hercules, but seeing all your plans fall apart just as things are getting really good is it's kind of annoying. But maybe it's for the best to just learn to accept it. Ooh, and the game doesn't end. Okay, so one of the solutions to this problem, since we unfortunately do know where the AI is we hunt down Tan and kill them, which might be necessary. But look at this, you compare this somewhat weak army to our decently strong army, probably slightly underpowered for the third week of the second month, but not terrible. It's 11 Titans isn't bad at all, and we've got some other strong forces lying around here. And you compare that to Tan, Tan's army wasn't crazy overpowered. That was a good, fun final boss type of army, which I could possibly beat with my forces now, but it would be hard, and that's great. But that letting you win the game when you're right next to it. There's a reason this wasn't included, and it's pretty obvious. So, with that in mind, I guess we just get back into the game now, and we just keep playing, and now the problem with knowledge is that you can never go back, right? It's not the right legend, but I'm sure there's a Greek equivalent somewhere. But we have tasted of the fruit of knowledge, and now we've been cast from Eden, in that we know things, and we can pretend we don't know them, but we do know them. And even if we act as if we didn't know them, we still do know them. We know, for instance, that there is an elemental confluxy thing over here. We know that there's a an underground portal over here, and then there's a big old river, and you have to go up to here to win the game. So we know how to win the game now, which is a real shame. Another option I could do is cheat and make Syra super powerful, send her down to murder all of Tan, and then send her back up and get rid of her overpowered army. But then we'll have this tunnel that we carved through all the stuff that's meant to be interesting and find our way. Because right now we don't even know where we're supposed to go. Right? It's one thing to lose the game because you were too slow and weren't exploring enough, but it's another thing to lose the game when the game didn't even tell you to start looking for anything. Like, we haven't actually received a quest like, go find the Titan's Cuirass. And there also hasn't been a quest that's like, you need to head in X direction, or you must search quickly, because like there's nothing like that. So even if the speed was intended, which is clearly not, but even if it was intended, it still doesn't really work. So now I'm all frazzled. Right, so I was talking about how you can only wake up your hero if they're at full movement points, and if you trade with someone, you have to put them to sleep. The other thing I was thinking about was a rule I could add, which is that abilities like View Earth and View Air, which you need the learning to use the adventure map spells, is what I was talking about. I realized somehow I missed this, that, you know, spells like Water Walking and Town Portal and Dimension Door, needing Navigate to cast them makes tons of sense. Because, you know, it's Navigate, like, they're navigational spells, instead of learning, of all things. I'm going to keep it as it was, that you need learning to cast adventure map spells, but I think in the future, being allowed to cast air magic or a View Air or View Earth while standing on a cartographer but not buying from the cartographer would be a pretty nice rule to have. Regardless of what I decide to do with navigation or learning in regard to adventure spells, like divide it up between them or put it all in one or all in the other. I also codified a few things, like all accidental waits are now defends, and if you accidentally move after trading, move back to where the trade happened. That was just before I didn't know what to do if I made a mistake, and now that's what I'm going to do if I make a mistake. That is one thing about my rule set. It does make gameplay slower, which means on a map where you have to go as fast as possible, it definitely puts you at a disadvantage. Tyrus could, I guess, pop into there, or help Torosar with Gathering Dragons, potentially. Or Tyrus could be on unit duty. That actually makes a degree of sense. Well, Hercules buffs himself up. So Hercules has been all through here. He's been through here, he's been through here. He's been there. So yeah, because Hercules I want to kind of pop down through here. Get a bunch of stuff. And then Hercules is going to hopefully somehow get into this river, and he's going to defeat the Dragon Utopia, is my goal. But before I do that, I guess, I was thinking I could just send Perseus to do this attack instead of Syrah, because she is quite a ways away, but these giants aren't upgraded, and it would take a little while to upgrade them. Problem with relying on a hill fort is that the hill fort's a far ways away. And then, yeah, he just heads as fast as he can back this way. Hit that, upgrade them, get in the boat, get out of here. Hercules can wait a few turns. He's not in a hurry because I don't have anyone that can actually do anything down there. Actually, that is the question. Does Tyrus has navigation, which doesn't allow him to cast, but he does have summon boats. So if I can get Tyrus learning, which I think knights can get, then I could summon a boat. So maybe I'll actually do the level up, even though it's a bit of a waste. And yeah, does Hercules have to be anywhere in a hurry? He could go and upgrade these, but he's got so many other units he could be upgrading as well. I think he can just wait. Okay. That'll be that. You had to wait until today to try out this new invention, but you're definitely looking forward to this afternoon. Europa has promised to meet you by the sawmill. You explain that there was a new innovation to test. She seems pretty excited about it as well. Yeah, still nothing about, oh, you need to get the Titan's Cuirass or anything like that. The only way you would know that is if you look at the victory condition, because it's not in the scenario description. Do I wish to pursue them? I do, just for a bit of experience. So, I don't remember what skills she has, but I clearly do not have the ability to wait because I don't have tactics. I do have some spell power, which probably won't be necessary unless they get morale, which they could. And so I can't wait, unfortunately. No morale. Okay. And yeah, just more intelligence is fine by me. I think a Horn of the Abyss remaster could be fun for this map. I'm almost tempted to make one myself. 45 gargoyles are available right now, and 87 units in there. Yeah, so actually money has become a problem, like I thought it would, but for some reason last time round I bought a bunch of units at the end of the week instead of, you know, letting my treasury, which I paid a fortune for, do something. I don't know what was going through my head there. It'd actually be a good idea to... Wait, no, I got rid of my heroes, right? Yeah, I'm not allowed any more than this. I'm only allowed 6 heroes total, whether or not they're inside. Yeah. Okay. So Perseus is the guy that needs to get moving the most. Unfortunately, he's kind of slow. Tyrus, we're going for learning. I'll take wisdom. Which is unfortunate about that. I might have to fire Torosar. Although, okay, what did this cost me? It's just free, okay. So Torosar, what does he have going for him? He has a ballista. So if I get rid of the... Right, that was the plan, was to buy the dragons, hand them over, and hand over the ballista, and then fire Torosar. So I think moving towards that as fast as possible is a good idea. And you, I'm just being a little bit extra greedy with. Grab you. Logistics, maybe? Okay, Earth Magic is amazing, especially for Deemer. And then you are kind of stuck here until I have money. So, you're done. Yeah, losing the game before fighting the opponent once sucks. And it's typically a sign that something's gone wrong. Either you're playing terribly, which I don't think I was. I could have been playing faster and better, obviously, but still. Do you wish to pursue... That's still doable as long as they don't get lucky. And if I'm scared, I can slow them. Okay, so you have to defend, you have to defend. Yeah, well. Oh! You don't see that every day. I'll take it. What do you got for him? Good morale and shield? That should do. I'm surprised the genies could take a hit, but the wyverns didn't. That's kind of weird. Okay, this looks very promising. I think this is a good place to stop. I'm worried that there might be another hero here or something. So it appears that my zooming over the map did not leave me with like a eidetic memory of everything I saw, which is good, which is very good. I kind of want to just let the treasury go, you know? Like not really spend any money for a while. But then Hercules isn't doing anything. So you're ready to leave at this point. And then Tyrus, what are you doing? You could... It's not a hero chain. If I grab their units, both their movements end, and then they both move forward, and I swap units again, and both their units end. But that would only work if Tyrus actually had logistics or something, which they don't. So that isn't actually any faster, which is good, because otherwise that'd be a little silly. Tyrus could come down here. Yeah, there's an idea. I sent Tyrus down here to take Torosar's stuff, and then Torosar can get fired quicker, which I would like to happen to him. Right, and I get rid of these wolves, and he'll move even... No, I keep a wolf so I can trade it away. And we look in there, there's nothing of value. Castle would be very nice. And I can't afford it, so I think I'll grab it. Oh, I should have saved for a fort, probably. There you are. And a castle or a unicorn blade. Both really good choices. I think I'll take the unicorn blade for the moment. And then I need a mage guild level 2 as well. Okay. And my money's gone again, unfortunately. Deemer, I don't really have any plans to send this way ever again, so he's fine just grabbing it now. Archery, if he's going to be defending, is actually decent. I'd like to get him ballistics, really. But, archery will do. And you've been there, yeah, okay, good. I think I might just send Hercules to grab these because he's going to be a while before he can do anything. It might have been better to send Hercules to take this city, actually, at this rate, but too late now. But yeah, I'll grab just all the stuff for Hercules now so he doesn't have to fiddle around with it later. And then the question is, do I want to grab these dragons? There's not really any point to do that. Is there? Not if I don't have the money for it. Speed is more important. It seems so simple compared to a normal game because it's meant to be simpler, but I always feel like, oh, I should have done more with my turn or something. Yesterday afternoon was a good one. After accomplishing everything, you and Europa tested that lambskin several times. What a wonderful release from all that buildup of tension over the last week or so. Europa seemed extremely pleased as well. Then again, you're a god and you know what to do. Yeah, a text editor as well could really have benefited this. I know I will fight these. Logistics. Ooh. I can't really turn that down. As good at navigation kind of works on this map more than most maps, but even then. Okay, so we've got wood, which I actually do need. Yeah, I'm not in a massive hurry. Exactly. It feels like I'm wasting a little bit of time here and there, but you know, you don't have to be perfect about any of it. This army is more than enough to handle that little town. And then Taurusar. Oh, and by the way, I also clarified that even if you're camped, you can still interact with the space you're on, and you can trade to heroes next to you as many times as you want. Just for cleanliness sake, as we saw before, where Hercules and Perseus were dealing with those dragons. Okay, so we come over here, and this is the first time we get to test this out. You give me all of your stuff. And then I camp Tiras, and I camp Taurusar, and then I fire Taurusar. So I'm looking for someone with learning. And Tiras can hand all this over to Hercules, but he doesn't need to now because I'm going to be keeping Tiras. So I suppose Tiras can just head down to wait for Hercules at this moment. Yeah. Oh. Instantly broke my own rule. I made the camp and everything. Okay, I'm going to have to... We'll see. Like, you might... Oh, you know, they'll get used to it, and therefore it's an okay rule. It's like, will you get used to it? Will you even look there all the time? We'll have to see. But it might not have worked. That was pretty definitive. Like, oh, no, that doesn't work. It's good. It was a nice idea at the very least. Yeah, so one thing Hercules could do is hop up here, slowly make his way down. Well, make his way down, grab a bunch of units here, then loop around, grab everything there. I think that'll work. So Hercules can just stay there for the moment. While our good friend Deemer grabs a bit of defense for when he's defending. And hopefully Tan, I'm pretty sure it was Tan who summoned my boat last time. Hopefully they don't do it again. Okay, that's another 5,000 golds. Gonna go for the Mage Guild. Fort's 5,000 gold as well. This place is all bought up as far as I'm concerned. And you're all good. And you've been good for a while. Yep. So I do really want to save up money to make the place worth it. However, in the meantime, we're looking at 1,000 gold there, like 500. A hero would not pay back this turn. But if they have learning... so close. But if they had learning, then I'd already have a summon boat here, so that would have been worth it. But neither of these heroes have that available. Where's the tavern? Neither of these heroes have that available to them. Unfortunate. Fortunately, the fix is pretty easy. You just send them back to where they were. And it does actually penalize you somewhat, I believe, which is okay. Okay, Perseus. Hop in there. The sound on that really seems to, like, peak out on my end, at least, of the mercenary camp. And let's see here. Yeah, so the plan is for you to empty out this building once you have the funds, which is going to be a little while. And in the meantime, Deemer is just going to be grabbing all the defense he can, and he can... That's a 2-turn journey, fine. So Deemer goes there, and then he starts heading home. Or I just end up firing him. There's no need to lose those guys. In fact, I bet you if I do this... Ah, doesn't matter. I was going to say I bet if I do quick combat after defending with the gargoyles, I wouldn't lose anything, but I don't even need to do the quick combat. There, there. And now do you have learning? You do not, and I want you to get learning. I also want you to get water magic. It's too late for that though now. So you're gonna have to get learning if you can. And just to double check that it was learning. Yeah, you can only cast adventure map spells if you have learning. And here it's the debate of dragons or castle. I think I'll go for dragons. I don't think my treasury is going to be raking in much money this time around. And I'll grab the fort as well, which means it's not going to make any money at all. But at least some point in the distant future, there's a chance. I could sell a couple gems, probably. 1 or 2. Wouldn't break the bank. Perseus is on the water, okay. So he's going to go around this thing. Hopefully he can go around it. And then, learning? No. Air magic for fly and dimension door on a hero who already has basic navigation. It's got its place. Given that I didn't have a rule about not being able to use the cartographer, I am a bit less, but I've decided not to use it. I'm a bit less reticent to, you know, just allow myself to cast the spells from it. Even though, because if you add a whole new aspect to your game, you know, it's still in a lot of times better to wait until that time, but it still can be a lot better to wait until such time that you start a new session. However, sometimes you want to throw something in to make everything else work, and in which case, something like this might be acceptable. But I don't really have any burning desire to cast View. Actually, I do have a reason to cast View Earth, come to think of it. Yeah, this is something I am not confident in about being the correct choice or not, adding a new rule mid-game. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do it. Give it a shot, because we've already seen the map anyways, right? So sometimes you just have to accept compromises. A lot of times you have to accept compromises. And your job is to sit there. I actually got a bunch of money back, which is nice. Okay, it was probably a good thing not to try to go around this. This is definitely a long way. I wonder if there's any secret events on these shores. Like there's a shore up here too that you can land on. I don't really want to waste their turn looking at it, but no, I would not like to buy a map, but now I'm going to allow myself to cast View Earth. And okay, so non-expert View Earth does not tell you anything. It tells you where ungathered resources are, I guess, which is to say in very few places. Someone left some rocks behind there. Is there any hidden resources in my lands that I've missed? This is one way to find them. I wonder if that's why they hide the things, actually. It's to encourage you to cast View Air and View Earth. It could be. So where are those rocks? Where are those rocks? They're completely invisible. Look at it. There's no way you would have seen that. Oh, that's why you cast the spell. And then View Air tells you where heroes are. Or artifacts, rather. So there's a couple artifacts on that island there, which I think is a nice place to go. And there's nothing... Ooh. The underworld is full of artifacts. That nobody's claimed. Yeah, this map's been barely explored by anyone. And the AI was out there ending the game. And that feels much better than just being forced to look at the whole map. And also not being able to explore anymore. Just ending exploration for 10,000 gold, you know? And that's after they increased the cost massively. Yeah, that rule so far, liking it a lot. And that I just added on the fly. I could hire one of them and then fire them. just do a little digging for heroes. This is day 7, so this is when I want to be doing that. But first, 5,000. Wait a day. Am I willing to spend 5,000? No, it's the end of the week. I can just wait a turn. That's fine. Okay, and how many gems am I making per turn, roughly? 4 plus 3 resource silos, so I'm making 7 gems per turn. So yeah, if I sell 3/4 of them, I should be able to make that back in a reasonable amount of time. That would be for 13,000, which means I'm getting 10% more, so that would be plus 1,000 gold if I sell 88 gems. Maybe I just sell 60. Okay. There we go. And there's also a castle I want to buy, which would be minus 500 gold, which in a way means I spent like 30 gems for a castle. It's pretty expensive, but I think castle's worth it. And you, I guess, can go gather more dragons. You could gather dragons from there. I guess right now you're most useful going up into Elysium and grabbing the water wheel and whatnot. And then, yeah, you can... I might as well go to the temple. It's Sunday, so it's double resources. Double morale. Speaking of which, I was thinking about this. So, well, it'll be a new week, I guess. But, yeah, I'll wait until I start a new turn, if I remember. I'll show you this weird thought I had. So that'll be plus 4,000. So it's... Ooh, okay. Got some excitement going on over here. And who are you? Oh, you're nothing. I was too busy paying attention to that I... Okay, you're being sneaky. You're trying to slip around the other side. I see. And I remember there was a bunch of artifacts over on this island, which haven't been claimed. But yeah, I don't want purple taking my my unicorn islands, so I'm gonna keep an eye out for them. There's another cartographer's down there. So I think if I land, I might be able to make it up there, but I'm not able to. Yeah, I might save a turn if I do this. Huh. Gotta look before you leap. Okay. I think Cupid is stronger than me, but it's close enough that he might not attack me, or he might just try to steal my boat. If either of us have the castle, we are safe from the other. Although I'd be more safe than he would. Hopefully he doesn't decide to attack me. There's not much I can do about it otherwise. Tindarius, I don't know who you are, but I will, I think, leave you be and just grab those green dragons. That Cupid's going to be a problem, which I think... How do I want to solve that problem? I could buy all my units and start moving out, but I might want to save that money for shoring up my defenses if Cupid doesn't attack me. So... Anti-magic. You've got wisdom, right? Yeah. You could learn anti-magic. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit scary. Our first fight, and we're probably going to lose it. Oh, okay. Okay. We're all friends here. Nice. And now you've decided to invade my lands. I think Cupid has shifted my priorities. And Syrah can beat Cupid. What do we got there? 10 Hydras. I can beat 10 Hydras. For Helm of Chaos? Yeah, I could do with that. I'd like to have both of our forces to really do that fight, but this'll do. Okay. Okay, my plan works. Hopefully, I might have just enough movement left. Okay, logistics. Yeah, I'm still looking for a bunch of stuff, but okay, so I don't need to rush the Citadel anymore because it'll take them a turn to land again. But, you're full on spell power? Yeah. So I don't need to go for the Mage Guild either. I guess, yeah, a Tavern wouldn't hurt. Well, let's see who's around. Do we have anyone with learning yet? No. Okay. But we do have the option of training them up. And now even Syrah I wouldn't want to fight Cupid with. Because that's a lot of units and her spell power is pretty low right now. But I don't think Cupid's going to risk fighting her because I'm pretty sure she would win. I guess while I'm here, grab Visions. Visions is a great spell. That's an adventure map spell, I guess, which makes learning super important. Now, do I wait another week? Like, what does that cost? That would cost me 12,000. This is going to be the end of a month, so there's always the risk of a month of Plague coming up. And this isn't a Horn of the Abyss map, as we saw, so Plague Month can happen. Death Ripple, I don't think it has a use case, but you never know. And now Deemer needs to head all the way back. Okay. Yeah, I think a Plague Month is too risky to stay here forever. Because I would really like to take advantage of my treasury. But I don't think I can afford to. Okay, is that all I can bring with me? I'd like to bring the genies. And I can leave these behind, I guess. Okay, so then I pop down here, and I grab whatever's in there, and yeah, hopefully Cupid doesn't do anything too nasty. And you're gonna take all my stuff. Oh, okay. Hi, Cupid. Maybe I should have just gone for the castle. Sort of rush towards it. I've got the one archer. One thing I can do is hire Theodorus, and he doesn't have any leadership, sadly, so. But I can give him a variety of units to make up for the lack of leadership. As long as they're the same faction, it won't ruin his morale. And then Theodorus can be a bit of a defensive line between me and them. And I think actually losing a genie for 35 dwarves is probably worth it like that. Okay. Yeah, Cupid's strong. Am I just backing myself into a corner and losing the... I have the armor of the damned, though, and he doesn't know that. And that's a pretty huge advantage. It depends if he has ballistics, really, and what his spell power is like. I could also drain his spell power by attacking him a few times. I'll consider it if I have the money. But it might be the play. I'm gonna need that money, sadly. In fact, yeah, let's go all out on stopping Cupid here. So, with that in mind, yeah, that way I can give these units to the next hero I buy. Yeah, okay. And you don't have any items on you. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with here. Okay, he has no spell points. He has decent stats. And okay, so if I'm in a castle, it really depends on his ballistics. But it'd be nice if Eagle Eye let you look at their inventory. You know, that would be something. look at their spellbook, look at their inventory, look at their skills. I think that would make Eagle Eye situational, at least. Because right now it's so situational, it just doesn't, the situation doesn't exist. I even made a map center around it, and I don't think it's that good of a skill on that map. Yeah, so the whites are a bit of a problem. Grand Elves are a bit of a problem. Dragons, obviously. But... And then the unicorns and the dwarves and the dendroids are just be annoying to deal with if I have walls. Oh, you don't even have a attack spell. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Well, no, the tavern will is letting me look at this right now, so it was probably worth it. But there's no point in buying a hero that doesn't have an attack spell. Huh. Sometimes with a dragon you can get lucky and get like a... Maybe if I stand there and they act like an idiot. No such luck. Okay. Thankfully, unlike Age of Wonders, there's no morale, so I can lose as many heroes as I want. You give gold. That's nice. British, I would love to look at your spellbook if I could. I don't seem to be able to. Do you have anything good? Protection from fire. No, you don't. Okay, well, she'll absorb any spell points he... Actually, what she could do is start claiming stuff, and then that will potentially convince him to chase after her and use up his movement. So we'll go for that. I guess that's my money, so you can grab some spell power. And force field, why not? Is there anyone in there right now? No. And then just have you come into... that's the question. Do I think I can defeat this on my own? I don't think I would win that fight. But I can have Seer come in and take him out after the fact. Get the Armor of the Damned back, at the very least. Which will be a nightmare to fight against, but I think Perseus will weaken her enough. And I am allowed to lose Perseus, right? Yeah. Okay. Dendroid saplings are only 2,000. Then this brand new town of mine. Just give it defenses so the situation doesn't happen there. And I guess Hercules is the home defender now. He doesn't have the funds to be buying stuff at the moment. But yeah, just take all my stuff. Okay, good. This is what I like to see. I'd love to get the dragons to kill some of their unicorns. We've only got protection from fire, yeah. Oh, that's just that fight, giving him a little bit of XP, but that's that, and a castle. Yeah, even with a castle, that would have been a hard fight. Okay, now the question is... Well, first of all, I'd like to land. It's not a question, but I would. I don't want to fight him immediately. I would love to be able to get into the castle and grab some units. There's a question. I guess you can trade for free inside a castle. I guess that's just what you can do. I'll add that to the list, because otherwise it wouldn't really work to be doing any maneuvering. And if you're trading in a castle, you're not, that isn't making the micro more so, for the most part, because you're using up your movement, and it's all about the movement micro that really makes it slow. And that's a tiny inadvertent buff to Castle Gate, the Inferno building. Barely, but it is a tiny one. Aham actually does a really simple fix to the town gate, which lets it send you to any town you own, which is such a perfect fix. I think Horn of the Abyss should really pick up on that. Or Legacy of Silence when that comes out. I hope they do something with it. But I really hope Horn of the Abyss does that at some point, because it fixes it entirely in such an easy manner. And it's not unbalanced or anything. I don't want to land there, but I can't land anywhere else. I could hire a hero to go inside this boat, and then he would come in and attack the boat, sink the boat, and then Sierra could land. But, yeah, that's getting a bit silly. Okay. Maybe there'll be a Wizard's Well for sale at the black market. And now you're on Green Dragon duty. That said, all my money needs to go to Hercules and Perseus at the moment. Man, those things are expensive. You've been... You haven't been, right? Because it says already learned. Yeah. Okay, well then grab yourself blind. That's a really good spell. And yeah, I need a mage guild here so the heroes I buy can actually do something with their abilities. And neither of you guys are really going to help with the defense. Okay. What's Cupid up to? I'm a little worried I might have scared Cupid into... I was going to go there. I was worried I might have scared Cupid into attacking my town just to feel safe. Did Horn of the Abyss get rid of the ability to slowly restore spell points over time? Because it doesn't look like his are going up or hers. I'm not against it. I'm looking for a well. Doesn't seem to be, but this is just straight to their place, I guess. It's kind of weird they haven't taken this yet, actually. Man. How fast are you? Can you stand right about there? What if I do this? Okay, do I just attack him straight up? Or do I... He's strong enough, I don't think it's a good idea. I think I send Seer back up to help with the defense here, because he's actually strong enough that we're both threats to each other, but yeah, he's a little scary. Okay, now this town. Town Hall I would love to get, but I really need to be focusing on defense right now. And I think a mage guild is the way to do it. Slow is awesome. I could buy a hero and send them to give my units over to Sierra, which I think is probably a good idea. So you just take everything I've got, and, well, except for the dwarves, I guess. And then you run past Sierra if you can, which you can't, which is great. Okay, and then you give Sierra everything you can. That looks good. Okay, that's still not quite a guaranteed win against this guy. I could also say I'm only allowed to move to next hero by pressing this button. That would work with the sleep. You can also press H to cycle heroes, but I don't know if I'll remember that, and it's kind of fiddly, but it would work. I've got quite a bit of money now. That enough to get Hercules going? It's enough for the Naga. And then 42 genies, wow. But I also want those mages. So one more turn, I guess? Yeah. I'm curious, we have a bunch of taverns now. Do we have... Yeah, we can see everything. So we are second strongest kingdom, with Cupid as the strongest kingdom. And of course, Olima is weaker than she appears because I edited out a bunch of her strengths. And their hero is way better. Odysseus, way better. That's Artemis, Ion, Heracles, Cupid. So yeah, they consider them to be the strongest hero in the game, which, yeah, I kind of agree with. I wouldn't want to fight them, but I might have to. I can just keep sending him on home. And of course I spent all my money, so now I can't keep upgrading this place, but yeah, I don't have the markets for it either. It's not worth it. Okay. Okay. Okay, we've got some dudes to be worried about here. We've got... Cupid hasn't moved. He's not sure what to do. We've got Ericthus, who isn't that strong, but he is, you know, somewhat strong. He's strong enough that plans are going to change. And yeah. It's time to head out and deal with him. And Malekith's not going to get home in time. 5 speed. Why do I even have that in the army? You're 5 speed as well. I guess it didn't matter. But I'll do what I can. Korvac, do I have a reason to keep you? No, but I don't have a reason to get rid of you just yet. Syrah, I might send to attack Cupid. Maybe. That's an ugly fight. If I was in a castle, I would easily win, I think, with Syrah, but on the ground... And if I had my full spell points, it'd be a different story as well. Actually, if I do this, that will encourage him to attack my vulnerable hero. And then Syrah will be able to attack afterwards. Of course... This is to restore Syrah's spell points, not to put her in town, because I don't want to abandon Perseus. Although Perseus could just charge in and attack Cupid, surrender, and then be rehired. I do have that ring of surrendering. That'll be if Ericthus becomes a big problem. Just, yeah, keep both my options open here. And then... Yeah, I'm actually going to end that there for today. It's going to be a shorter one because of all the fixing I had to do. Well, it wasn't much fixing I ended up doing, but it was a lot of reading about why Myth and Legend was the way it was. And then, yeah, you're not that strong, but the problem is I don't think Deemer's going to get back in time. I could throw out, like, all of the gremlins, all of the orcs. That might give me enough speed to get there in time. But that's, that'd be a bit of a tragedy. The other option is, I don't know. I think that is the option. One thing I can do is get a bit of gold and then just buy something like the castle or the golem factory. And that will allow me to at least have some units ready if I can't defend with Deemer himself. And I can buy the castle next turn. And then Ionia, yeah, it's going to be a few dragons in a castle should be enough to defeat that, unless he's a really good hero. And I can always buy more dragons. But I'd really like to get them upgraded first, because the difference between green and gold dragons is huge. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there for today. But we'll see what happens. We'll have to deal with Cupid next time, and it's getting exciting. So I'll see you then, and you take care.